We have a new episode of Ask Me Anything series. I actually answered all these questions already, but all right. Just in case you guys were wondering, this is actually part 2 of the Ask Me Anything series featuring Dennis and Corrinne. I'm just reusing the intro because I forgot to say it last time. So, all right, back to the normal scheduled programming. Make it easier for people to not read through the comments. We're gonna have a video to just go through some of the most recent comments in the last 2 weeks or so. But since I've answered them already, in this video we're actually gonna feature 2 of my colleagues, Dennis and Corrinne, who will do their introductions in a second, and they are gonna answer the questions for us.
I'm Corrinne Jean Thomas, and I am a medication pharmacy informaticist, and I went to University of Michigan for my pharmacy school, did my PGY, and did my PGY too in pharmacy informatics at Michigan as well. Go Blue.
That was a little complicated. My name is Dennis Lim. I'm an informatics pharmacist. This whole medication management thing is over the top of my head. But I did my College of Pharmacy at University of Florida, PGY1 at Indiana University Health, and PGY2 in informatics at The Ohio State University's Wexner Medical Center.
Let's go to the specific questions that people asked you guys. So the first one was for Corrinne. It was actually a comment, and this is perfect because Dennis has ties to The Ohio State University.
Oh, look at that.
So there was a comment left by actually a very loyal subscriber. He watches all the videos, and this was on the video for Women in Informatics. And he says, specifically to Corrinne, shout out to Corrinne on her expression regarding the Ohio State University. It was epically hilarious. So Dennis probably doesn't know about it, but I don't remember how that went. They were talking. Oh, it was Katie talking about
doing our
Ohio State.
introductions, yeah. And then Katie had brought up Ohio, and I had forgotten that she had that affiliation because I always try to keep my distance from Buckeyes. But it's all in good fun. But thanks. I have some other interesting expressions too.
Did you like roll your eyes or something like
I think so.
Okay.
She can roll her eyes during our annual Thanksgiving game when Michigan loses, like they usually do every year. So I have nothing further to add to that.
Go Blue.
Okay, so we'll go to the question for Dennis. This question's come up quite a bit now, and I think it's maybe because of what Dennis said in one of the videos. It was in one of the videos, I believe, about skill sets for informatics. And so the question is, I remember watching one of your videos, and that someone is Dennis, said that knowing Excel would be very beneficial for pharmacy informatics. How would I go about preparing my Excel skills, and what other ways can I prepare technology-wise for informatics? And just to give you guys some context, this person is a P1, so they're finishing the P1 year now.
So there are a lot of opportunities, especially for a P1 at this time, because they're so early in their careers to really improve their skill set, not only in terms of informatics, but Excel comes in beneficial in your daily life. Could be if you put it to use. So even if you're in retail pharmacy and you're in some other position, as long as you want to do some kind of data analytics, Excel is probably the most user-friendly, fast, entry-level way of doing kind of data analytics. So, ASHP, especially the summer meetings that focus on informatics, the Informatics Institute does provide typically every year some advanced Excel course. Now, given that you're a student, you're probably not likely to be able to attend that, or you're attending on your out-of-pocket expenses, which can be expensive. Of course, there's also tons of resources on Google as well as YouTube. People like Brian really shows you how to manipulate data in Excel. And so, for example, in my daily life, things that come into play are like VLOOKUPs, very simple ways to match one column of data with another column of data. That prevents you from doing hours of manual work. Pivot tables that let you represent data in ways that really can help you make a point or an argument. If like this is the data, this is the graph, this is the pie graph or chart, that really helps you strengthen your argument. And so it will help you not only in informatics, but it will help you throughout your career as a pharmacist. If you ever need to do presentations, or you're going to need to analyze anything that's going on, either in your pharmacy or some part of your career, basically. So definitely start off with those resources online that are free from people on YouTube, from Google. You can Google Excel tutorials. Look into some basic functionalities for understanding and manipulating data.
Yeah, I know because it isn't just informatics that Excel is great for. It's any sort of research, any sort of data collection you're doing. Back when I was a PGY2, I did a whole short little presentation for all of the other residents on this is data, this is what you can do with Excel, just to help with their collection as well as doing their analysis. So going through some of the tools and some of the different additional add-ons that you can download to really help you, give you an additional edge, as well as with newer versions of it, there's even infographics and other downloadable charts to present your data when you're doing presentations a lot nicer too. And then I'm not sponsored, but Skillshare is a site that I really like. You can do a month free. You can do a month free though, and they have a lot of really, really nice videos that are very professionally done that you can, that I'm sure there's Excel on there that you can look up, and you can see what the level of difficulty they are. Because I'd gone through and I'd used my free month to do some different classes with SQL and more higher level data analysis, and so I'm sure there's Excel on there too, and I'm sure there's other websites that are just like that where you can watch really well done, as well as on YouTube, really well done lessons and tutorials.
In terms of other skills for informatics pharmacists, I think a lot of what we do on a day-to-day basis is project management, so look into other avenues for understanding more about best practices or principles of project management. Look into things like Lean or Six Sigma. In terms of your daily basis on your job, Corrinne mentioned SQL is one of those things where if you're able to understand it, at least, you don't have to write that code, but at least understand how that data is formed and manipulated, you have a better understanding of the system. And so things that provide you a technical edge, and so that can be things like C++, it could be simple as HTML, it could be something simple as Java,
Python. There's tons of
initial, like those early programming languages really give you skill sets that extend beyond the simple ability to write a program. It allows you to connect ideas and thoughts that are essential to an informatics pharmacist that you might not really get. Certainly you won't get in your pharmacy school, but you might not get in even your education prior to that or in your daily life. So important skill sets to really improve if you can.
And plus there are a lot of other programs too when it comes to data and stats. There's a ton of them depending on your organization. They probably have one that they tend to go towards. And then I would look into your school. I know University of Michigan, we actually had students, I think they were masters, but they were students who commanded our data analysis center. So you could schedule and arrange time, and it was completely free as a student for you to go, and you would just explain what you were trying to do, and they would help walk you through all the different programs and the different software and tools that you can use to learn and to expand on. So definitely look and see what resources you have.
This one actually, I'm very curious to hear Corrinne's response on, because you're so involved in professional development for informatics. Okay. This one's about academia. So we have a question, very recent question from someone, and the question is, I am a PharmD that did a master's in healthcare informatics at University of San Diego. I work with the nurse informaticist at a small acute care hospital in California. Recently, I was approached by my manager to see if I was interested on taking on a pharmacy intern for an informatics rotation. The question is, do you have any guidelines on how to create a syllabus? It will be the standard 6 weeks, and I want to make sure the student gets the most out of it. The pharmacy school doesn't have a strong informatics course, unfortunately, so what I learned in my master's program may be lost on them. So, just one question. Do you have any guidelines on how to create a syllabus?
So if you go to, there's the ACCP guidelines, there were recommendations from the professional development section that we had done 2 or 3 years ago, I think it was 2, and we laid out some of the different criteria and things that need to be incorporated just in general school of pharmacy programs. So that level of detail would be helpful for creating a syllabus for that type of intern and that level of experience that student will have. So you can see specific examples and expectations that you would expect a school of pharmacy program to include for informatics. That would help probably to guide you for syllabus creation. There's also some different resources out on ASHP in the informatics section that are dedicated to help you look at the different programs for residency program developments, both for PGY 1s and PGY 2 that include informatics as well.
Yeah, and Corrinne didn't mention this, but they just updated the PGY 2 Pharmacy Informatics Residency curriculum, and so in there are line items that are high level enough where you can apply them to a pharmacy student or intern. I think the consideration is, is this going to be an ongoing rotation where all the students filter through, or if it's a rotation that is specific for students that have interest in informatics, because how you'd approach that rotation will be very different if your student has a lot of informatics interest versus a student that is there because they need to be there for credit. And so I think certainly you can be more advanced to students with informatics interest, and so kind of how to tweak that internship might be important for your consideration.
Yeah, in the ASHP for the PGY2 guidelines, it uses Bloom's taxonomy to go down the different levels of details so that it is building upon. So it's some of the teach, show, do, but also it goes into explain and analyze all the way up to being able to have somebody who's a little bit more experienced who would be able to do more advanced competencies or standards. If you have any additional questions, leave them in the comments below.
Until next time.
Okay, that's it.
It's okay, I got that in video. Bloopers. Every time.
Oh my goodness. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in and watching the video. If you like the content, definitely hit the ImproRx button over to your left to subscribe, and definitely check out more videos over here to your right. Now, as always, if you have questions, comments, and even better, suggestions for future videos, definitely let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, until next time, guys.